Yo, I'm taking a look at this calendar right here, and it says I've made it an entire week doing these questions of the day. Man, I did it. I did it, everybody. Time to go home. Wrap it up. What's up, everyone? It's your boy KLT here again for your seventh question of the day. I made it an entire week doing something that I've not done before, and it wasn't even very difficult. It's just something that I've always put off and was just like, yeah, I can't do this thing. And now I've done it 7 days in a row. So it's actually been pretty easy. Along with all the stuff that I do normally every day, I just make a couple minutes to record a little vlog and set it up, and that was it. Really simple. But today's question of the day is not so simple. It's today the question of the day is, how would your parents describe you as a child? Now, I always tell everyone this story when they ask me about how I was as a kid growing up because, I'm kind of weird now and I like certain things and blah, blah, blah. But growing up, I always tell everyone that my mom always gives the story that I was a weird kid. And I don't mean that I was a weird kid as in like I did weird stuff as a kid. I just mean that she said that I always listened to her. Whenever she told me to do something, I would do it. Whenever she told me not to do something, I wouldn't do it. Whenever she said, do something by this time or be in by this time or go over here and do this, I would do it. I would just do what I was told and do what she asked, and that was it. And according to her and other parents and, my family, that's not a thing that kids do. Especially with some of the family members that I had growing up. I was coming after a lot of rambunctious youth. Like my sister and my cousins would always get in trouble. Always. They were always doing something, always getting caught for something, always being in trouble for something. And that would always fall on me. People would say, oh, what's your name? What's your last name? Wait, are you so-and-so's brother? Oh, no. Oh, no. And I would always start off like on the wrong foot with people because they're like, oh, you're going to be just like them. And I'm like, what? What is it? I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I have no idea. I'm just chilling. I mean, before I even went to Carmel Middle School, I remember I was getting enrolled and like setting up the classes and all that stuff. And everyone was like, this is your cousin and this is your big sister. And I was like, yeah, why? And they were like, well, your cousin set some girl's hair on fire. And if you come in here doing that type of stuff, then we're not going to tolerate it. I was like, whoa, like, I'm just now getting here. I'm like 7, 8 years old. I don't know how old I was in middle school, but I'm like, I'm just a kid. Let me be, man. I'm just trying to come and exist. But yeah, my mom, I would always just listen to my mom. I never felt the need to act out or do anything that was like cool. I was always just the chill kid. And I mean, I was actually just like, I guess pretty independent and self-sustaining. And, I did what I wanted, and what I wanted to do wasn't anything crazy. Like, I mean, sure, we stayed out late and we did some normal dumb kid stuff, but like, it wasn't like, man, we're gonna go and like blow stuff up or vandalize property or like break windows or anything. We didn't do any of that junk. Like, it was, I mean, I did grow up around a few people that did that type of stuff, but it was never appealing to me. Like, I just never found the reason to do that. And then when we were finally able to get video games in the house, man, that was a wrap. I just wanted to play games and chill. I would go to school, come back home, play games, and chill out. People would come to the house and we would game all day. Like, I mean, typical kid life, Additionally, growing up, I've always been a tall kid. I've always been the tall kid. So there wasn't anyone that ever wanted to start anything with me. No one ever wanted to fight. I never fought in my life. That was just, no one wanted to mess with me. I didn't have the reason to be afraid of anyone. So there wasn't any animosity or strife in my life growing up. Like, I didn't have anything to worry about, like physically, like getting bullied or anything like that. None of that ever happened. I mean, I didn't even cuss until like I started middle school because my best friend was like, if you want to be in our cool kids gang, you got to say a cuss word, because they knew that I was so straight edged and they were like, he's not going to do it and blah, blah, blah. So we got to figure out a way to make him cuss. So they told me that if I didn't say a cuss word, then I couldn't hang out with them anymore because they were going to be cussing and they didn't want me to go and tell on them. So I mustered the strength and the courage and I said my first curse word. I dropped the F-bomb, and they were, he went all the way to the top. I was like, oh no, what have I done? I've ruined my life. I've said a curse word, but I got over that pretty quickly, and now I cuss every other word. So maybe that wasn't a good thing. Maybe they were a bad influence on me. But yeah, growing up, I was always just the chill kid. I played basketball forever, so I was the jock. I was the cool kid. I was the chameleon. I was the one that had all the different friend groups that I went around to. So I never really had a tough life growing up. Well, not tough. I didn't really have a bad life growing up. I mean, I had all the things I needed. I had friends that I could go to all the time to do all types of different stuff. I was never bored. So I just kind of I was really chill. I was really content as a child. And my mom would always tell everybody, there's something wrong with him. He doesn't talk back to me. He doesn't want to fight. If I tell him to do some chores, he'll just go and do it. I've never grounded him. I've never spanked him. I'm like, why is there something wrong with me? Because that's how I grew up. Like, isn't that how it's supposed to be? You're supposed to not want to be like, why do you want to discipline me? Like, I don't get that. But she would always tell people that I was just a weird kid, because I think it was just because my big sister and my cousins growing up, they were so on the other end of the spectrum that me being on the complete opposite end was just a shock to her. So maybe it just took her a while to get over that, and that's just how it always was. So I'd always been kind of even-tempered and just cool and chill and just did my own thing my whole life. So, but that's it for today. Just keep it short and sweet. I mean, like growing up, I was in all the right friend groups and had all the right stuff to do. So I was just a cool kid growing up. So I wish you could have hung out with me back then. It would have been fun. But since you can't, you can hang out with me now. If you were a good kid growing up, if your parents would say that you were a good child, hit the like button, so that way I know who all the good people in my life are and who I need to hang out with. And if you were a bad child growing up, hit the like button so that way I'll know who I need to ask when I want to do some fun stuff now that I'm an adult, and you got to spice life up a little bit. So if you were a kid, hit the like button right now for me. Just drop a like if you were ever a kid before. That should make it easier. Yeah. But we're done with week 1, and we're starting week 2 tomorrow. So I will see you all tomorrow for day 8 for a question of the day. And y'all have a good night. Stay safe out there, and peace.